and it was serious because you need it over here. And I mean, it's making me. It made me feel like I was still a human being, really. You know, because the rest of them make me feel like jail. Not to scare nobody now, but yes, ma'am. I had freedom. I mean, no curfew. I mean, it was just nice for me. I had a place to go. I can calm down a little bit, relax a lot. But if you had that over here, yeah, I would never leave.
And now where are you today?
Oh, I'm in my own apartment right now, thanks to you guys. Yeah, I mean, I thank all you guys, man. Yeah, I just had to tread the water for a little bit. You know, I can swim a lot now.
Love it.
But yeah, I mean, it would be nice to have that in Georgetown. I'm born and raised right up here. I know a little bit, but yes, I mean, and like I said, the only thing that I would say is screaming.
Right. And Patrick, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name is Patrick Hill, and I would like to say thank you to the whole GMC staff. They did a great job. I'm right now currently in the Skyline program, one pilot program for the mayor, which I was referred to by Kelly, Rebecca, and Mr. Loris and the staff of GMC, where I came every day. I took showers, I got change of clothes, I got good solid food. I did my work on websites for jobs. And the program itself is a beautiful program. And where I'm at, this is a wonderful thing that can happen for people who are homeless and need help. This is one of the programs I could say that's very great for the community. The Georgetown staff is great, the food was delicious, and we have a lot of time in this community that we all meet up and we talk about good things. Most of the other individuals that I've been around, they all received their apartment. I'm just really waiting for mine to come. And I do look forward to always coming back to GMC to speak and see everyone. And I would have to say, once again, I'm very grateful because this is a beautiful opportunity.
It is.
All right.
Hey, yeah, my name is Ricardo. I actually already got my house. It took me a little bit because, times is hard and all this situation around us. I'm very grateful because this is a big chance for us to, get off depression, because a man without hygiene, without, straight sleep is not able to function and to be capable to get out of their problems, right? And this is a big help for our community, especially in Georgetown. We got couple of homeless, we got, it's very hard out here. Economy is struggling everybody. And I just want to say thank you. And I'm very grateful for people like everybody here, like Miss Kelly, Miss Rebecca, and y'all guys too. Thank you for the help. And that's all I got to say. Thank you.
All right. Our first question. So can you guys describe some of the challenges you faced in finding stable housing? So when you're going through the process, and Patrick, you haven't even moved into your permanent supportive housing yet. So what are some of the problems you experienced in trying to find a place?
It's just like getting the right help and wait. That's the hardest part, just waiting on it to happen. And you out here in this wilderness, but made of concrete, I'm serious. And it's kind of hard on those that want it, really want it. Yeah. I got mine now, and I thank God. I thank you guys. That's you. I still be outside in the streets. But it's about good help. You gotta have the right ones trying to help somebody, because what you doing?
Yeah.
They helped me. Yes, they helped me. It took a minute, but they got me out. Yeah, thank you guys.
Okay. Patrick, Ricardo, anything that challenges you face?
The challenge is about we ain't got like a record like for renting the apartments, and the way the system, like you got the vouchers and most of the landlords they deny, or because we ain't got records from renting, or and it's something could be changed.
Yeah.
But That's on my
I
opinion.
had my voucher for a whole year and didn't even know I had.
Yep.
They helped me get my voucher and then helped me complete it. So I had mine for a whole year and I could have been off the street. Never knew it.
Yeah.
Never knew it. I mean, that's why we need you guys, man. We need you guys. Help me. You gotta help me now. Help me. Help me.
Mhm.
We are
And that's
very,
what they did for me.
we are very grateful to you.
Yes,
To all of y'all, because y'all make a
I've been
difference
coming
in our
here
lives.
for years.
And the things that y'all do touch our lives, and a lot of us go through a lot of things because of bad credit or other previous things that we have did in our life, but this is like a second chance that GMC
Yeah.
gives each adult or any individual so they can raise what it is themselves back up, get back to work, get back in the workforce and become positive.
Man,
And that's what's very important about the program within itself. It's like a small center, but it's a family of people, and they help a lot of people. And everybody that comes to GMC, everybody is happy. This is the place we all meet up. We met up here daily for 2 years. And we sat around and we waited until the money came into the budget, until the money was allocated for the one pilot program to even begin within itself. Because we had nowhere else we could really truly go. There's other programs. This program here was very distinctive because it's only a small group of people that's able to be here, but everybody can be fed, take their showers, get fresh clothes. They can also get transportation. They can work on computers. And that was very important part of picking yourself back up and getting back in society and doing something positive within yourself. So that gave you to get up and go and be on time to get your lunch, to make sure you're here, to
Yeah,
make sure that
motivated.
you're there, and it motivates you even more just to come. Just to
Mhm.
come here every day is a motivation.
I haven't missed a day, but I mean, I missed a few since I got my parking now, but that was the first one for 10 years straight. 10 years straight.
And the best food, we had to cater the best food. There's a lot of different businesses that could and gave us food. So that was good. And then sometimes we had our little Christmas thing, or we had Thanksgiving beautiful time. We go up to the church and we eat. We had some beautiful times there. I met some good people, some good friends. And everybody doing well. They got jobs, they got their apartment, things are getting back together. And we meet up after that and we talk. We
Mhm.
really appreciate y'all.
Man, just got a few stragglers left.
And then the love that y'all gave us.
Yeah, that's what
Oh,
counts.
that's very important.
Get somebody that love their job, you know, love to help people. Don't get nobody mad because they gotta help. No,
And
you know,
even
that was
GW
what I was enduring.
The GW students that come here and that volunteer, we met
Mhm.
some good students, they graduated, they come back. I've seen a couple of them because I'm in Georgetown, and they always come to me, and Mr. Hill, how you doing? You okay? I tell them, yes, I'm doing very well.
Mhm.
They remember us.
Yes.
So- What was your experience like in the programs that you were in, and how did that compare? How does that compare to your experience maybe in shelter or staying outside?
That is a blessing.
It's
I
a
mean,
blessing,
it's like a rare
So
breed.
you have your
It's like a rare breed. You don't see it.
You got the meals.
But when you see it, you notice it. I mean, it saved me, and you know, you was one of my witnesses. What happened to me in there?
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like I was free. It felt like no handcuffs. I mean, motels felt like jail.
Mhm.
When they sent me from there to there,
The Rich Housing
I
program.
felt like I was at home. I felt like I belonged, even though I wasn't,
Mhm.
until they got me somewhere to go.
Mhm.
That's what I liked about it. I
Mhm.
love that.
Yeah.
Y'all need to get like as many programs y'all can over here, something like that. I'm serious on that. And just share the wealth with me a little bit. I just want a houseboat. I can just get out of here when I feel like it. I'm serious. But no, that would be a blessing for everybody trying to get off their feet over here on this side of town.
Mhm.
Oh, yes. And
Uh,
there's a lot of us over here.
I think you guys were trying to talk about what was your experience like in the
program.
program.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah, the Pet B program is an excellent program, actually. It should be throughout the nation. Because they do wellness checks, they feed you 3 times a day. You have your room, which is clean daily, your linen, your sheets. And
Mhm.
also, it's a good program because they give you a scheduled time to be in every day. It used to be at 7 o'clock that you check in. After 6, if you have a job, you can get out early in the morning. But it's a beautiful program because it's a lot of good things that they offer within the Pep B program. They have
Mhm.
case managers on duty also. They have a doctor and the staff to check you for COVID or anything else or anything it may be ailing you. And they also have different meetings, the town hall meeting, which I attended, which was good. They have training programs and they also have classes. It's one of the best programs that I've been through throughout all my time in my life. I'm 57, be 58 this year, and I got to say, the Pep B program should be extended, and it's something that every city should have because it will change what it is, the homeless population within itself, and it'll also put people back up on their feet and something positive and good. And it's something good for the whole community and everyone who may be homeless or experiencing homeless should look into the program within itself. It's one of the really shining stars out of any program that I've been through. And I've been through the mission, I've been through So Others Might Eat, I've been through 1313, which is another program. And most of the programs that I was familiar with, actually, I attended, I've been there, but the Pep B program was one of the excellent programs, actually. It really helped you and motivated you to do positive things for yourself and others while you was there. And you can also learn, and they had classes that you can take also to train you for a job and get you ready and prepared. So I would say that was an excellent program. It still is. I hope they extend the funds that they need for that program. That would be very, very good for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not much to say.
Yeah, he said.
We got a mouthpiece.
Elaborate a bit. So what's the difference, right, being in those programs versus like if you were still on the street or in shelter? Like, do you think you'd be as successful in finding housing and
No,
in a house?
Like the
we couldn't keep
program
that.
is way better than regular shelter or be out here in the streets because, like I say, one of the most important things is discipline. You got schedules, you got meals, and you got your hygiene. All that helps a man moral, right? Because it's the most important things, and that type of programs they will provide us with all that, doctors, case managing, with everything.
Very
And it's a
important.
big help.
Yeah, it's a big help because it lifts the burden off you. And
Yeah.
you have the time to check in. And on the weekend, if you want to get out,
Yeah,
see your family,
clothes,
you can
everything.
get out on the weekends. They also give you food and clothes. So that's also good. And they check on your well-being 3 times a day. Early in the morning for breakfast, they have a wellness check. Then for afternoon, and then
Yeah,
for
they
dinner.
did do
So
that.
that wellness check,
They-
always check to see if you well, in your room, is everything
Yeah.
okay? They ask you a whole list of questions, and then they go to the next person's room, ask the same list, and it
Made
motivates
sure
you.
you was alive.
Yeah, alive, and well, whatever, well, when you may be going.
Yeah, I
they
forgot
go
about
down
that.
To your room,
Yeah,
make
and
sure.
The
They
difference
check
is
on
you
you.
can sleep too.
Yeah.
It's one of the most.
Yeah,
important
you can
things.
relax.
Because without sleep, you're restless. You cannot find a job. You cannot fight for yourself.
To y'all program, y'all trying to expand, please, I need that over here.
Yeah,
You
cause
need
being,
that,
yeah, 'cause
that
being
will
on-
save a lot of people.
you always have to worry about someone else trying to harm you or hurt you.
Yep.
Other
Whether
individuals
what.
trying
One
to
eye open, one eye
It's
closed.
gonna hurt you, and then you have to, everywhere you go, you have to be careful because other people, when they see you, they look at you homeless, they won't let you into the establishment.
Yeah.
You can't go around nowhere, and everywhere you at, it's like, that's the program where you can go and relax, and you don't have to worry about nothing. Just sit there, follow the guidelines, do what you do, and then boom. You about to come, move in. I would like to see, because a lot of people told me the down payment to get into certain places, they removed it. So somewhere along the line, that needs to be looked at, because a lot of people has had a problem with the down payment. And then
I did.
yeah, a lot of people told me that, because the application fee is one thing, but the down
Yeah.
payment, the security deposit.
No, but the landlords came up with that because it's a way to deny us that fee was made last year just to.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't say no to us, and now coming with the application, calls application fee,
Yeah.
$500, $600.
That's how they ask you out.
Almost they ain't got it, you cannot apply.
And you can't apply once you can't
Right,
apply to that place.
Ask you out.
That's one of the issues.
It reminds you of a form of discriminating against you also again, because one is your homes within itself. tourism program, they do have affordable housing. There's a voucher that comes from the government within itself, so therefore,
Yeah.
that should be an automatic thing. Shouldn't be too busy, you have to, or jump through hoops just to make the down payment amount. And then that's how you get excluded from the place you would like to really look into and go into. Then some of the other places where they do send you,
Yeah.
the plumbing is bad.
Yeah,
they have
you know when you
things
go over there.
You don't want to go in certain areas that you know it's gonna be a lot of crime, violence, get you into altercation that may set you back and put you in some other place. So that's what you try to avoid, really. You want to go to an area, maybe by the zoo, somewhere up in Georgetown, where it's peaceful, it's quiet, and there's a gun play, not people robbing each other, not a lot of violence around you, because you don't want to walk into something as you're trying to get yourself together, and then you
Reduce trauma.
circumstance. Because that's what can happen in certain areas of the city. Crime is real rampant and there's a lot of bad things that's going on and you want to avoid that because you try to get yourself back on the right steps in life and that'll set you back. So that's another thing. Being patient is important and the discipline with that program at a certain time that you have to come in and go out and then they don't let you back out those doors. You stay there. And that's a good time to is and you're not on the streets, you're not around other individuals and they know where you at and you know where you at. So that makes you feel better. Then you feel more confident within yourself. So when you do come out, now I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna go here, I'm not gonna go there, I'm not gonna get involved with nothing wrong or crazy because it'll mess up your time for your voucher or for you to get your housing and you look at that like I don't wanna be around that. I want no problems. That's what's very important. That program is a good program.
Mhm.
Yeah, they need to put that throughout the nation.
What are some of the most helpful services that you've experienced in your time when you were homeless and sort of in transitioning out of that into permanent housing?
You guys.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
GMC has one of the best programs. You
Yeah.
get transportation,
Y'all be the
job,
right
take
ones,
your-
baby. Real.
you get your gift card, you get your coat, your boots for the winter. Oh, man,
Oh,
it's
yes, sir.
it's cold outside and you get your coat, your boots.
You
brand
get your
new coat,
thermals in hand now.
brand new gloves, and you get your heat warmers,
Yeah,
you get your hot
everything
chocolate,
you want.
you get your cocoa, you get your
Right.
tea. You know, I'm talking about for real. I remember them that we was outside, it was 15 degrees, we was outside, us two together. Yeah, we was all outside together, right?
Yeah.
We had our tents, and when we was in our tents, we used to look at each other like, what time they open? We gonna be there early. There's only so many people could come in. and
Motivate you to get up and eat
It
something.
motivates you, if you ain't there on time, you know how it goes.
Yeah.
And that motivated you to get up early, actually.
Yeah, first one in line.
We used to sit here, and, oh man, there's some days it was raining, it was cold, and this was just a blessing just to
Yeah,
have
yeah,
it.
that's
And
You
that's
able to know the door gonna open
Hey,
it.
just to know we would see Mr. Lawrence, Rebecca, Kelly coming to check on us, and a good doctor too, because he comes out with the outreach. I know the doctor, I talked to him.
Yeah, Dr. Jafar is great.
The staff was always excellent. They always was good. They always
Mhm.
treated us nice. It was very hospitable to us and very important that they showed us love. And that's what makes you stay to the program and do what you're supposed to do while you're here.
I did.
You guys were talking about how you have to have a lot of patience because it takes
Yeah.
a long time. Can you talk about some of the things that you had to do and like why does it take so long? Why can't you just move in tomorrow?
That's what I mean, because see, you have to have the right help. See, you already know how many caseworkers I've been doing this, Calvin.
I know you.
I had to find
Yes, how many caseworkers?
How many caseworkers? 18 caseworkers before you got
18.
into housing.
before y'all helped me.
Mhm.
When MBI came in, Miss Veronica, Miss Rebecca, I was gone. I was gone. You got me right up to where y'all trying to get.
Yeah.
Got me quite out of here. Thank you daily. I'm telling you, they know I ain't lying. I was the first one here before the sunshine.
Yeah.
They ain't had to worry about security. I was their security coming down this alleyway for 10 years straight.
We
10 years straight. That was it. But you know, that was before that even y'all even started with y'all. Y'all need to, because y'all got a lot of people now.
everybody wants to come to GMC. They know this is the best.
Yeah.
You get the best food, the best clothes, you get the best gift cards. You have,
Y'all the best thing on this side of town.
you have the best things happening for you while you're here, and they make sure everything happens. They follow up on you. They come outside with their outreach on you again. And they
That
call
part.
you daily.
That's like-
I've seen several calls from Miss Rebecca and Miss Kelly, and Mr. Lawrence even reached out to me for someone that called. They didn't see me. I told her, no, I'm in the program now. And she knew where I was, but the most important part is they keep in contact with you, and they was concerned about your well-being
Yeah.
and your welfare. And they ask you, did you eat today? Are you hungry? Do you need anything? Do you need transportation to go look for a job? Do you need transportation to get where you're going? Are you warm right now? Do you need to take a shower? Do you need to change your clothes? And that goes without saying, but human
That was
beings,
every day.
right? With dignity and respect, that's something that is instilled in them, and that's a foundation that they carry out. So every time we leave, we tell anybody else coming to GMC, don't act stupid, don't be around,
Yeah.
acting crazy. We gonna remove y'all. We ain't gonna mess up our good place where we go. That's where we be at.
So Derek talked about all his case managers that he went through. But what are the other steps you guys
And
have
no
to
help.
go through, like, talk about the paperwork?
Why does it take so long?
Why does it take so long?
Oh,
Because paperwork, is all about how the system is made.
Yeah.
right?
Well, I mean, COVID, really.
Yep, COVID did.
Nowadays it's COVID. Everything on the phone and, you know, I used to be in there, I'd be standing in line. I used to like to go and see them in their face. Now you can't even see them.
Yeah, a lot of case management is.
You know,
done in
it takes
person.
3 hours for the phone to answer. I mean, you know, I still come here every day and still trying to get my mail here, still try to get what I'm trying to get, you know,
Mhm.
accomplished, but you got the right people on the other end.
Yep, I mean, I know for you, Derek, they
Man,
submitted
you
paperwork
know,
wrong.
They know my day-to-day struggles
Yeah,
and they see it with open eyes and ain't nothing I can do about it. I just keep doing it. That's all you gotta do.
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, it's important.
And I keep it pushed.
Yeah, but when you got a lot of different
Yeah.
case managers from a lot of different agencies that you're involved in, sometimes things can be mixed up and misconstrued.
Man,
It's very hard to really talk to them in person due to COVID. So you really couldn't get a lot of places where you can go and get your
Right.
physical, because there was no one allowing you to take a physical.
somebody ran.
On top of
home.
that, being that once they acknowledged that you was homeless, you would have a long waiting list of other individuals and they put you into a queue. Until something bad had happened to you on the streets itself, you was attacked, raped, or robbed, or in an altercation to where your life was threatening, then that's when the seriousness came to remove you from where you was and put you in a program so you can be safe. This is a lot of women and there's a lot of men that was attacked, raped, or robbed, and they was homeless. And there's a lot of things that goes on in the homeless community within itself that was really inhumane. You know, you would be discriminated, you can't go in the store, you'd be discriminated, if you're standing outside the store, you're discriminated when you get on the bus. It was a lot of barriers that you had to go through. And then when you're doing with so many different case managers, that they're gonna help you sign here, get with our program, you go there and you realize, no, it's not like GMC's program. They really care for you. The rest of them just want to get your name, your information, so they can use that for their database to get them more funds or get them donations coming to their organization. And there's a lot of different people that was involved with the matter of stopping you from preventing you saying that, oh, I'm your case manager, I'm your case manager. But when you tell them you got GMC as your case manager, you know, you can get your house and do things.
Yeah, they eyebrows raised.
It's totally different. I've been to all the programs, every one in the city. I can tell you about all.
Hey, Patrick, how long have you been waiting for housing?
I've been waiting for houses since, it's been a minute now, it's been about maybe 7 years.
And this is the closest you've ever been, right?
Yes.
Since you've moved into the hotels, the
Yes.
puppy program. Can you talk a little bit about where you are in the process and like what you're waiting for and why it's still taking time? Do you know?
Yes, but I was told I had 3 different databases. I already had my voucher that was in the system itself, but the 3 different databases within itself, it had crashed. The director of housing quit, the assistant director also quit, and then they came up with a new program. Then the council enacted a new law within itself. This is before they decided to go to affordable housing for every area, all 8 wards of DC within itself. So I had did a lot of activism work and also a lot of marching. One of my old groups is the National Coalition for Homeless, and they used to have a symposium at the Hyatt Regency Hotel in Capitol Hill. I worked there for 20 years and I set up that symposium. So I've met a lot of people that was also in the community. I had a chance to meet Mitch Snyder personally. I met the pastor of what you call Miriam's church. Actually, his son is running it now, but I knew his father. I met him personally myself because I set that symposium up. I used to be a foreman. I had 45 people under me, with me, and I would meet and greet them and tell them how the meeting's gonna go, how many people's gonna attend, their breakfast and lunch and their dinner. So it's a lot of work that I did also, because I also marched with Dr. William Barber, Poor People's Coalition. So that was just recently, a couple of years ago, you know, that we marched all the way from 13 the Lutheran Church, all the way to the White House, actually. So that was very good and instrumental, because there's a lot of other work that also needs to be done, really. I would love to see affordable housing 20% in all major cities. That would be great. And I would love to see a different program, not only just the 360 million that was given to the district, that I think it was popular Treasury Stephen Mnuchin and Donald Trump under his tenure, they allocated funds. And this is during the COVID when it first started. I would love to see that increase to at least $1 billion or better. And affordable housing 20% in every city. That would really minimize what's really going on. And plus there's some other issues that needs to take place. But overall, I'm a little happy right now. This PEPI program is great. Things are really changing, and it's going to take a little time and patience for things to be well.
And you can be patient because you got a safe place to be every night.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. You can be patient because you have the condition and you feel safe. Yeah, otherwise you'll be out
You
here.
have to be very careful.
Yeah, that's like
Your
that.
life, what you're gonna eat. If somebody's gonna wake you up out your sleep, what else be going on that can distract you.
Man,
And then you got the big rats running around.
good,
Then you
man.
got people up all night
Good,
rolling
man.
around. You can't get no sleep.
Serious.
And there's a lot of times the reason you up all night until the next morning
And
till you
Mr.
come
Bacon
in.
needs to come around a lot late night. They be out there.
Mhm.
Oh, I love them.
Are there things that you would recommend or things that you wish the programs that you have been in had and like that would help set you up for success in when you're moving into housing?
I would just say the speed of things.
Mhm.
If it happened faster,
That would be great.
thank you, Jesus.
Mhm.
But that's about it.
Yeah.
I mean, what's taking so long? It don't take that long to bake a cake, dude. Serious. But yeah, that's the only part with me.
Yeah. Moving the process along
Yeah,
faster.
it takes so long.
Mhm.
My hair, I lost my hair, man. Yeah, it's my way. That's it, but the waiting time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then everything just shut down, then you gotta start all over again with a different.
Mhm.
Different case manager.
Yeah,
Give you
man.
the same
That
information.
part.
residence,
That bring you down.
Your ID, and then if
It does.
you lose your
Bring you
ID, you have to
down.
wait through DMV. And then the process of them just leaving you in the queue, no one telling you where you at in the queue, how long that'll be before they address any concerns that you may have, because most of your stuff, it goes to that case manager, they wind up passing the file, and sometimes they get lost, and then you have to start the process all over again. And then by the time you do look at your places and do the virtual tour, and the bus comes to pick you up, then you still have to wait until the voucher hits. So if the voucher is not there, we're waiting to be matched with your voucher with that time. I went there as soon as I got there, I toured 3 different places. And
Mhm.
I'm still waiting for my voucher to come through, so
Okay.
I'm wondering how long is this process? And
Mhm.
I've been there over 10 months now.
That's the part. Yeah,
But sometimes
serious.
You have to be
with the
patient.
case
It's-
manager.
Yeah, but there's
Yeah.
some people that, but they
Because
fire for.
sometimes
case
if they
managers
take,
already.
if they take you as a personality, the person,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, and they got issue with you, they can delay.
Yeah.
They can do,
Oh, they
they
will.
can do a lot wrong.
Oh, yeah.
And they got some power and they act as they want, and you shouldn't. You shouldn't be a professional relationship only. And most of the case managers, what they do when they take that, they just retaliate. It's not putting the papers on, not applying for the help they should.
Mhm.
Sometimes it comes more about the case management too.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they should, I don't know.
Gotta get the right ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot
It
of good
depends
help.
on the individual too. Because
Yeah,
people-
moms
what
have
they
to find
do,
a job.
other people just, this is a bridge for something else. They don't care about us.
Yeah.
But majority, they good people.
Yeah, majority they're good
Yeah.
people, but what it is being that you're the client and they're the person that's distributing whatever it is that they're gonna distribute.
You pick and
They
choose.
pick and choose and they never give you the time to reason, this is what they're gonna do. It's like you don't have a timetable of when they're gonna get back to you.
Mhm.
What's
Right,
important
yeah.
for you. Because you don't know what the situation or process may be. A lot of them, sometimes they don't have a lot of their training that they need that
Mhm.
prepares them for what it is that they're dealing with. So that becomes another thing. And then there's no checkpoint on them within itself. To see, okay, well, how many people did you have that we gave you that's
Yeah,
expected?
who was seeing you?
How many of them did you get into apartments? It's like as a quota that they should all meet within itself with their basic training, because a lot of them don't have a lot of training, which I'm seeing, because a lot of them was fired or left, and a lot of them left because of the COVID situation also. But there's another thing to where and a lot of them didn't have their proper training. And without that, and then a lot of them was complaining about how much they was making. I talked to several of them and they told me this, I gotta leave, I gotta find another job. And they was telling me, oh, I'm gonna leave. So I had 3 case managers been there, and now this is my 4th case manager.
So you're on 4, Derek had 18.
Yeah,
How many
shit.
case managers did you have?
Yeah.
Okay.
You still have her.
Yeah.
And she cares about you a lot.
Yeah, she had my back. and still got it.
Man, serious.
Yeah, but since I came
I'm
to
lucky,
GMC,
yeah.
since I got to GMC, I've been real good. It's been, this has been the best. I was at 1330, so others might eat. I went over to what's the other place? Up on
608?
Friendship, no, Friendship.
Friendship.
Yeah,
Friendship,
straight up West
I
Palm.
was up there, cause I had, what's the name? She was my case manager for a while.
Mhm.
And she said she was helping me. Remember, I need to get my social security card, but I got all 3 of those, but y'all helped me get that.
Yeah, they helped you here with
By
y'all.
the GMC, it's like, this is the only place that was really telling me, this is what I'm gonna do.
The
This is
direction,
gonna happen.
yeah.
Need any help here? So this is the only place that really followed up on everything.
Direct you to the point.
Yeah, no, that goes straight to the
Always,
point.
always.
I had to wait a whole, they delivered my birth certificate to 1313 and it got stuck in the mail, it got lost. Then the person who was helping me as a case manager, he quit abruptly.
See,
The
that's why
director who named
yeah,
Tokyo, she had a beautiful program.
that's why I
They gave her
love
a
this
award. I
program.
knew her personally actually
It's
before
better.
I came to 1313. And this is the weirdest thing. I was like, okay, well, now I should be able to get all my stuff and everything should be put together. And that was a good program too. Pathways was an excellent program also. I gotta say, that was a good program also.
Heard of them.
But somehow they didn't extend it to all 8 wards within the city because of the funding. She never received her funding. If she got her funding, oh, beautiful.
Really, just see some of the questions.
All right, we've got a lot of questions in the chat, so I wanna see what we got. So what steps did you go through to get from the streets to housing?
The GMC was what the most important
That was
step.
this best spot.
Yeah,
But talk about what this, like, ignore GMC for
No,
a second.
right.
Talk about what the steps are, like, what did that look like? You're on the street and then what?
and
Well, for me, I had to make sure I covered my out there, you know.
Mhm.
I didn't befriend too many people. You always see me by myself. Always. I mean, and other than that, ain't nobody else gonna help you but you. So
Mhm.
that's why I had to help myself. And thanks to you guys, I did. Yeah, you with me now, right? Yeah, I sure did. And it's easy
Mhm.
when you got help, you know,
Yeah,
and then you want it.
but you gotta find the right help is
Yeah,
one
and
part,
it
right?
took years. I'm not
connected.
gonna say it's easy.
Mhm.
Yeah, man, I came back from Minneapolis, Minnesota in 2009.
Mhm.
Been on the streets for damn near 100 days.
Mhm.
Thanks to you guys.
Yeah, I know, right? Very good.
Really though, serious. Born and raised right up the hill.
Sometimes you get a lot of different outreaches that come from different agencies and they all take your name information.
That COVID did it.
They bring you gloves while you're outside in your tent, or when you're outside, or blankets from the van comes by that only 100 number you can call to get blankets and other supplies you need. The most important part is that transformation of being on the streets, a park bench, or being in a tent, or living on a subway or the bus until certain times to where it's daytime that you can get up. You have to be very careful with pick and choose where you stay, because there's a lot of other things that go on that's outside after certain hours, so you have to be very, very careful. And GMC has a program to where when you come in GMC, it's a total different program, so you're gonna have to have like 13, I think they can house over 187 individuals. So others may have a population of, I think 206. What happens is they just feed you breakfast. They don't give you shower. They don't have a chance to talk to you personally as much for case manager being there and someone to really follow up where you at, check on everything else that needs to be checked on. The outreach will come and ask you things and take down your information, but that program there, so it's like, which is a good program also, but they don't have the follow-up. Follow-up is to make sure that they're going to be able to get to where you need to be so that things can be better. That's what needs to be looked at. Now, I remember they received the grant, Mervyn's Kitchen received the grant. And there's a lot of different case managers that's in both of those programs actually that left because they was overburdened. They didn't have enough case managers and they became stressed, and then the funds had evaporated. They did everything good by the books best as they could do. But Mr. Rabbits, when I talked to him, told me another thing was a lot of case managers was leaving and he was moving on to other endeavors, and they felt to ways and they had no room for growth because there's not a lot of case managers being paid. So that's something to look at within itself. And then there's a lot of other things that didn't come through for them like they wanted to have happen. Like if they received the $10 million grant that they could have received, that would have been good because they would have had more funds. And without the funding, they had to cut staff, and then they had to pile a lot of people up that needed case managers, and they became overwhelmed. So that became one of the inadequacies of what was going on. That's why a lot of paperwork was misconstrued, and a lot of people was being pushed off. And then when COVID came, a lot of people quit. And only the people that really was there, that was experienced, they let stay on. The volunteers, the staff is good. But more importantly, that happened in every city and a lot of other programs. But it's a way to where is it the council within itself to sit down and talk with the whole business community from every development and put into the council's law 15% affordable housing in every facility within itself, every building that's really able to be rented, then that would be an end to homelessness within itself. Because that 15% instead of 10% would make affordable housing more, how do you say, an increase of getting people off the streets and stopping them from being homeless. And then work symposiums, training them to get back into the workforce and dealing with some other issues that may be there. It's going to take more than just what we see, because you know, it's one thing when you look at it, they have enough money. They've been having enough money. You know, but it would be nice if they did something good to change what it is in every city. Because you have a lot of cities that's in insolvency right now. And a lot of people are experiencing a homeless situation. San Francisco, California, Chicago, New York. And the mayor of New York did something great actually. His controller, who has $100 billion budget within itself, came up with something very good for the homeless in New York. That program is an excellent program. And you have other mayors that did something great, but de Blasio did something special for the homeless. And that I got to say, out of all the mayors, I set up the mayor's conference and the governor's conference, actually, another symposium myself. From 1990 to 2011, when I worked at the Higher Regency on Capitol Hill. And I would have to say this, I met a lot of the mayors and governors, and I've seen a lot of things change in life, but I'm quite sure with a little time and patience, our Congress can get together and make the right decisions, and they can balance things out a little better than what's been balanced. You know, and I would love to see that. That's something that's in my daily prayers.
Reverend Rachel, you have your hand up.
I think folks would love to know So each of you went through bridge housing and are now in permanent supportive housing, is that correct?
No, Patrick is still is in transition still.
Patrick is still in the bridge housing program?
Yeah.
So can you, Ricardo and Derek, would you tell us where you're living now that you have your permanent home?
Yeah, I'm actually living on 3120 16th Street.
So that's Columbia.
Columbia, yeah, it's
Yeah,
not
Columbia.
Pleasant, not Pleasant, yeah.
Oh, you're not Pleasant. And
Columbia
then
is not Pleasant.
what neighborhood are you in, Derek?
I'm off Connecticut Avenue, right past the zoo.
Mhm.
And what neighborhood did you want to live in? Like, is that where?
That's exactly what I want. Yes, ma'am.
You too? Is that?
Yeah, that's exactly what I want to be.
And Ricardo, you wanted to be in Columbia Heights too?
Yeah, Mount Pleasant. Sorry, I got it.
Mount Pleasant. And so Patrick, can you tell us which program you're a part of now?
Yeah, the Pep B program
Yeah.
that's at the Skyline
Mhm.
Inn Hotel in Southwest, right off South Capitol Street.
Okay,
That program, the one pilot program through the mayor's office, which is under the Pep B. And it's a good program. It's an excellent program within itself.
Mhm.
and how long were each of you in bridge housing before you moved to your permanent housing?
This is Derek. I was there for about 4 months. Took me 4 months.
Was it only 4? Are
Yeah,
you with?
It took me 4
You were-
months.
no, but he was in auto. Yeah.
I was in a hotel for a
Yeah,
week.
you were there,
and
you were
then
there
they-
a lot longer.
Yeah.
I probably was there longer.
Yeah.
It was like 10 months.
I think it was-
Had to be 10 months.
10, yeah.
Yeah, man. Look,
Your housing.
December,
When did you, December, you got into bridge housing in like March, so.
Yeah.
That was like. a flip.
March to
Yeah.
December.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it seemed like it flew for me.
What?
8 months.
8,
months.
8,
Eight or
9
9
months?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
flew for me.
And you've been there, you're on 8 months.
Yeah, 8 to 9 months now.
Yeah.
We got around the ninth
Mhm.
month now.
Yep.
Okay, great. So one question is, what extent of staff support is required for an adequate bridge housing program, in your opinion?
Well, let me
So I think the question, a better way to help phrase that question for you guys. So you guys have your housing case manager, but then there are also case managers that are part of the program, right? How the case managers that were part of those programs, like Kelly for you, Derek, did they help move the process along for you? Yeah, no, so it took a lot, it took a team effort to help you make it better for you.
You gotta stick to your gun. I
Mhm.
stuck to mine. Miss Kelly, no, look, I left these, Miss Kelly, Miss Rebecca, and went over there and had Miss Kelly and Miss Rebecca.
Yeah, no, it was 2, yeah, that's right.
And all of them had the same heart. I'm serious, all of them had the same heart.
And we, in this group, got to meet Rebecca from Community of Hope last week on this panel. So lots of Rebeccas and Kellys.
Yeah.
apparently.
Full of love and help. I like it, man, I'm serious. They
Absolutely.
put me right where I belong,
Mhm.
And
at
you,
moment in time.
it sounds like GMC also helped you to get into the bridge housing program. Is
Yes,
that correct?
ma'am.
Oh, that's what.
They asked me.
Yeah.
They asked me. I said yes.
That's what got us there. Without
Yeah.
that, you wouldn't even be able to be there. Most of the people that received the house.
That's why
came
we
in.
need you guys.
Because this is how it was done. Kelly coordinated. with
You the
the
middleman.
And every day we would talk to them, we would follow the steps and the guidelines that they told us to do. And also every day that we sat here with them, they was concerned about our welfare,
Yeah.
our well-being and our safety. Not only just feeding us, checking on us.
Yeah,
making
they
sure
wasn't playing
the
with
next steps of where we was about to go and it's gonna be all right for you, or it's gonna be a little cold, where you're gonna stay. Can you go over to your daughters, or can you go to your uncle's house, or where you're gonna be able to stay? And they was very concerned. So as soon as the slot became open in the program itself, they made sure that they contacted you,
Right.
called you and told you, you be here this day.
Yep.
The bus will come and pick you up and take you to the pet meeting
Yeah.
program. That's how I got there. I
Yeah,
came.
right.
He just got his voucher and they gave him his apartment. He and them
Mhm.
came in at the same time. I was told by my case manager, Ms. Smith. She wanted to know who my case manager was. I said, Megan at Merriam's, she's in maternity leave. I have a new case manager, Orlando quit. And another case manager I had in Friendship Heights, I haven't contacted her, but once they all coordinated, then that process is the easiest way that you can get into your house. Actually, it takes a coordination of the place where you came from, the case manager that's in the pet program, with your outside case manager you may have, and the programs that you went to, and how you stood in the queue, and if you got matched for your voucher to your voucher games. And it's like a program that you don't get to see actually, because you don't really know, I have no knowledge of what's going on. It's just what each case manager will tell you, well, you can go here, but as soon as you got to GMC, they made sure that you was able to be put up and put in Pet B. And that was the very important part. She said, you be here, you be on time, the bus is coming to pick you up, you bring all your belongings with you, and they will go to your tent with the outreach, help you pack up your stuff, get your stuff ready, and load you on that bus and go. You guys way back.
I'm gonna cut in for a second. Ricardo, so the hotels are a little bit different than bridge housing.
Yes,
in the way that they're set up.
They're different.
Ricardo, if you would have had access to a bridge housing program in Georgetown, how would that have changed your journey?
It made it way easier because the hotel, the way they got the hotel set up is a little bit rough, and the staff treat us like this is like, and what's it called, the program, the house, this bridge house is way easier.
It would be smaller.
Smaller, and you got your own privacy, which is one of the things about the other hotel shelters is you ain't got no privacy, and they put you together with somebody you don't know. Who can,
right next to you.
you can be, there's all this different personalities, and it's hygiene, everything is part of the journey. And like this house is way easier.
Absolutely.
So this is a question that's sort of about bridge housing more generally. So Rebecca, Kelly, you feel free to answer this if you want. And the question from Jean is, do all bridge housing programs require a voucher? And what percentage of people are waiting for vouchers? And what's the criteria to qualify?
Yeah, so in order to enter a bridge housing program, you have to be matched with a voucher. There are about, I believe the current total is 1,400 individuals that have been matched with a voucher but haven't moved into their permanent supportive housing in DC. And then beyond that, there are around 7,000 unhoused people at any given time in DC. So of those 7,000, 1,400 approximately are headed towards housing, but haven't gotten there quite yet.
And so for our panelists, Jean's question is, what made you select one place over another when you were able to leave bridge housing and go into your permanent supportive housing? So Ricardo or Derek?
I'm sorry, I didn't listen.
So like, why did you select the apartment that you selected?
The reason why is like safe, clean, transports. Well, it was most of basically safety. Safe neighborhood is everything.
Yep.
Well, it wasn't hard.
But sometimes,
Yeah.
sometimes they want to move us to some neighborhoods, and that is like relieve trauma and all that, and it's very easy for us like go depressed and go back to that dark spot, and that's all.
Yeah. Derek, how about you?
Mine was easy for me because I mean, I didn't really care. I just want to get off the street. So I stumbled into a brand new remodeled apartment. Got right in it. And it was just easy for me. I went through so much hell. It was easy for me at the end.
That's good.
That's what I like.
So you found it in the neighborhood?
Yeah, I mean, it was like right on time, right by where to be.
And they had
Right on
openings.
time.
And
Why
they
did you want to be in that neighborhood?
Because it's safe.
Mhm.
I'm by the zoo. I'm where the real animals live. These animals up here ain't got weapons. Serious. But no, they blessed me right on time. And I thank them, y'all. They need some help. I mean, Yeah, this would be helpful here,
Mhm.
you know.
So neighborhood matters to you because.
Yeah,
of safety.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, see, I'm born right up the hill. I ain't never been on the South Beach.
But
You know, don't
especially
put me
for
over
your
there.
safety. Certain neighborhoods, if you go to and you know there's a lot of crime, a lot of gunshot.
Yeah, I don't wanna
A lot
go.
of robberies and rapes, you wanna avoid being in that area because you
Yeah.
already know what that's gonna lead up to. Either you're gonna be, how do you say, robbed by somebody, jumped by somebody, or they're gonna do certain
hurt
things to
somebody.
you to put you in a bad predicament to where and you're gonna lose your voucher, or
Hmm.
lose your apartment. And then you try to avoid them, and then when the police come, they don't care what's going on. They look at you, oh, you homeless. They look at you, they look at your record, and you be trying to avoid them, but the people that's there, all they're trying to do is get you back to where then you become homeless again and lose your place. And then they start to, mess with you. So you don't want to go in those areas where you know it's gonna be some problems. You want to avoid anything that may put you back into that dark spot in your life and path that you was on. You want to get away from that.
So where do you want to live then, Patrick? Where are you looking?
Oh, I was looking at two different places. One was
Yeah,
64gallery.com, which is a museum in that building.
Mhm.
And
Good, yeah.
that's a beautiful, brand new renovated building that is also has affordable housing. I looked at several places up in Georgetown that I like. That's very nice because it's very peaceful in Georgetown. There's always a lot of police presence and you have less crime in Georgetown.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful, peaceful place where you can go. And most of my friends are here in Georgetown.
Damn.
So that's very important. We used to be by the Kennedy Center. We go to some of the free concerts. We all get up and meet together at the park. We'll sit around and we'll talk about certain things and certain programs and different things that we was doing and what we want to do. Now everybody's receiving their apartment. I see them all. Where's I got my apartment? I got my apartment. They all tell me. I'm like, oh. And I look at them and I get happy actually.
Man, they on their fifth apart.
Honest.
Some of them want to
Give me on their fifth apartment, I can't get one.
I get happy because I know most.
Absolutely. And there's a lot more people moving into housing because of the
Yes,
increase in permanent supportive housing vouchers.
Yes.
I think it was actually Sandy. There was one question and I missed it. What sorry, there was a part of the question that you asked earlier. Can you scroll up for me, Rebecca? Sorry. What are the qualifying criteria? There are two types of vouchers you can get in DC. For the permanent supportive housing voucher, you have to be homeless for more than 1 year and have a disability. You have to have a disability. For rapid rehousing, you just have to be currently homeless, but rapid rehousing vouchers are a time limited support, whereas permanent supportive housing, there is no time limit on those vouchers. Sorry.
This is what I get.
Also you got permanent supportive. Mhm.
Yeah, and then they have the lifetime condo voucher also that you see. That's also within the system. There are so many vouchers. Actually, when I looked them up, I looked at them.
Yeah, there are a lot of types technically.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
But those are the two big buckets.
Those are the
Yeah.
main
Oh,
buckets.
the
Yeah,
main buckets.
those are the two main buckets.
So when I did my research on vouchers itself, I found out something very.
But that my Uncle Red, man.
No, I do research. You know me, I like to read, so I read upon some things.
That's what
Certain vouchers that they give you are for certain reasons. Like you said, you have to have a disability. Rapidly housing, if you got a job within itself. If other vouchers are pertaining if you have a family.
Mhm.
They have certain communities and certain buildings that's developed, like that 64 gallery is for families. They have
Yeah.
136 units. It's a beautiful building. They have a lot of beautiful amenities. And it's a beautiful building within itself, actually.
Mhm.
I like it. There's a museum inside also. And it's real nice. It's next to the hotel, but I like Georgetown area. I want to be by Whole Foods.
Mhm.
You know,
Good.
that area right there is real beautiful, very nice.
Oh, that's what you
Food right there. No, because I'm always by the hospital every day anyway. That's one of my areas I go play my chess. I get to go to the Kennedy Center and I like that area. Plus it's close to where I be at in Georgetown. So it's a beautiful area within itself. There's a lot of, it's a lot of school people, doctors, nurses, and you have a lot of
Major
students.
artery. You
And
need
it's a
everybody.
major artery within itself. It's very productive. Even during COVID, it was still productive, and it was the whole Georgetown was really very vibrant, actually.
Mhm.
Considering other 7 wards of the city within itself.
Yep.
Actually, it was the only ward within itself that had more of their stores still open and restaurants.
Mhm.
The rest of them had to close down due to COVID. And a lot of them didn't have their investors. They didn't have a certain amount that they needed to have to keep their businesses open. So Georgetown Bob actually,
Mhm.
you know, not only because of that, because you gotta remember, the people that live in Georgetown, and the owners of Georgetown and the investors, they made a serious investment within itself to do other things to help people in the area. And that made other people flock and come to the area besides just the people that come and shop and visitors and tourists. But they did something else because I talked to a lot of the people in businesses. I was knocking on their door, talking to them in person. I met a lot of them also. So that was a good thing that I did do with the Lewis Ward. And this is the first time I really came to Georgetown as much. I used to come all the time,
Mhm.
but as much now was a total difference
Mhm.
because I went to every business establishment. I got a list actually from all 8 wards. It's
Mhm.
weird how when you're homeless, how you're being treated. As opposed to when you're working, you have a job, or you work for the government, or you're someone important. It's a total difference, and disparity is to ways, and just because you don't have finances, that don't mean that you're not a human being or a person. So that's something that I looked at, and I looked at several other things too. That was very interesting. You'll be very surprised. I got a little thesis I'm gonna come out with.
Okay. Well, we'll all read it.
Write a book.
Okay, I like it. Look at.
Yeah, I wanna write a book. That's why I like
Go
print.
ahead.
Go write a book.
I have a clarifying question for Derek.
Yeah.
So Derek, were you able to pick your own apartment or did the,
I just,
You
I
find it-
followed my caseworker,
okay,
and when I seen it, give it to me.
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah, everything with mine was brand new. They just remodeled it.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
was sold.
The clarifying question, maybe, so there, within the permanent supportive housing, there are some that are unit based. So it's a building that has units specifically in it, and there's like co-locating. But most vouchers are what they call scatter site, so that people can pick where they want to live. And it goes with the DCHA reasonable rent rates. So that's one limiting factor, but the case management agencies keep lots of different places that they know are within those rent rates within certain areas to help direct people and make sure that they're connected to the kind in the neighborhood they want to be in, with a unit that is allowable under that. Hopefully that's
Yes, yeah,
helpful.
because most vouchers is 2,800 to 2,200, and some of them are 1,850. Very seldom, unless you have a family and kids, that
Yeah.
receive the $3,800 to $4,500 voucher, which you
Mhm.
very seldom see within itself.
Yeah,
So
it's
that's
tied to zip codes in the
it's
city.
tied to zip
Yes.
code. And yeah.
Board.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's how that works. Also, in those 3 different databases that Department of Housing has also,
Mhm.
they don't issue with so many vouchers. That's what you have to look at. Actually, that's what I looked at.
Yep.
The vouchers that's issued. It's
Mhm.
like the mayor, after a while, she did superseded and released a certain amount of vouchers. I think it was 300, right? And
Yeah,
then they scaled back for a minute and then it ups sometime. And at
Mhm.
certain times within the council itself, depending on their budget, what they're gonna do with how many vouchers that they receive, because I know for a fact. The District of Columbia is not a state, so they don't receive money from the municipalities within itself. So all their money is made off of bonds that they go ahead and get a loan off that they take to New York to get an interest on the dollar to run the city within itself. So therefore, they don't receive from the federal government within that state.
Mhm.
So they can't have, things paid for like other states with their vouchers and their vouchers program within itself. That's
Okay, so
something
the city subsidizes the vouchers, right?
Yes,
Yes.
that is correct. Yep.
That's what it is.
And then for the folks who live them, they pay 30% of their income
Okay.
towards that voucher.
So I'd like to go back to a question that was asked earlier, and it's sort of, you all talked about this a little bit, but once you're in your permanent home, what are some of the challenges that you still face? And are you still connected to GMC and?
I come here every
Yeah,
week.
of course, yeah.
I come here every week, make sure my girls all right with me. Crazy to tell me. It's crazy to tell me. But yeah, that's how I do every day. Ain't nothing changed with me.
Yeah.
I ain't got nothing to do now.
Well, that's not true.
You know, so it sounds like you've got community and relationships at GMC. Are you also
Yeah.
still getting help from GMC?
Yes, ma'am.
You have family.
I still get my mail here.
Yeah, we consider each other's family. We see each other most of the time.
All
We check
the
on each
time.
other, call each other. We get a chance to make sure we call and check up. Oh, you get your place, you all right? Is everything well?
Yeah, it's
You know,
nothing love here. That's why I
GMC, that's what it is. It's
rare
from the
breed
family.
here. Glad I stumbled on this spot.
Oh, yeah. I was told, I remember Mike and Leon used to come here. And they used to try to get me to come here. I was at another program. No, come to GMC. No, forget the other place. Come on up here. Come on up here. Come on up here. Everybody kept telling me. So I said, hold on, I'm gonna come up here. I'm gonna check it out. And when I came up here, I never left. After that, I was here. I said, oh, this is it.
Me too.
No, serious.
Been here for years.
Yeah.
So this is an important part of your community. I mean, are there things that we're helping you with that you can't get elsewhere, or you just
When
like
y'all
it?
help me with them bikes,
Yep, we helped you.
they helped me get rental bikes for free for months. I mean, and I was a bike rider at that time, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, they help you with everything.
Transportation.
And then nothing, help you with it.
You got to remember, we had a Metro passes.
Yeah.
Metro
Yeah, I mean,
gift card.
you know,
You receive your gift card if you want to have something done
Yeah.
on Thanksgiving.
y'all need to expand here. Y'all blow up Georgetown. Y'all would, it'd be called the right one day.
Seriously, if it-
Serious.
The expansion is something that would help everybody. Trust me, everybody know about GMC.
Everybody,
And,
ain't
GMC
nobody who know.
It's a different program. This program is different than other programs.
Mhm.
See, when you get 187 people at 1313 or 200 people as others may eat, it's a lot of people that's there and they congregate there and then they leave. This is like a family.
Yeah, family,
But
yeah.
maybe what 25 to 20 people to itself. So then you have the volunteers that come. In
Yeah.
other places have
Yeah.
volunteers, but then you have more time to have a one-on-one and to talk to each individual. So you have more timing. And then you have other things that's important. Those other programs, they so bombarded by so
Yeah,
many
it's
people
just like one through motions.
that they don't have enough time to sit down and talk to them and meet them and really have a one-on-one with them personally. So that's what makes this program more
Yeah,
different than
better.
the other
It's
programs.
better,
Way
yeah.
better.
And you can go
So
down.
I have another clarifying question about, so once you get your voucher, you have to pay 30%. Do you all have jobs or income, or how does that work for you?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I
It's
know.
30% of your income.
Income,
So
yeah.
whatever your income is, you pay 30% of that. So if you don't have an income, then you don't
Then you don't pay anything.
pay anything.
But if you do, for many of our guests, it's Social Security is the primary source of income for the individuals, but some people do have jobs as well.
Okay.
Yeah, SSI disability.
Yeah, and for
disability.
because folks to qualify for a permanent supportive housing voucher have to have a documented disability, they often will qualify for SSDI, which is the disability income.
Yes.
Great. So going back to bridge housing, there's a question from Sandy about bridge housing. What was your experience with other residents in the neighborhood or people who lived in the neighborhood around the bridge housing? And how many people were together with you in your bridge housing, or Patrick, who are with you in your bridge housing? Yeah.
Well, actually,
So for the two bridge housing programs have around 50 residents each in the
It's like,
program.
I had a 2-bedroom, so
Yeah.
it was me and another roommate, but I would never see him.
Mhm.
I mean, seen him like 3 times. I the whole time I'd never seen him, and I was fine with that.
Yeah.
I was fine.
What about the neighborhood that you were in?
Yeah, the neighborhood was like, it wasn't the best. I was on 14th and Girard Street, and for me, no.
Yeah.
but I dealt with it, you know, because I can go in somewhere and lock my door,
Mhm,
you know, and then have to deal with the world outside.
mhm.
You know, just leaving outside, going inside. Yeah, you know, I mean, and I was fine with that. I could cook what I wanted to, when I wanted to, you know, and that was a blessing in itself,
Mhm.
you know, because you out here in the street, you ain't got a microwave. You know,
Refrigerator.
I'm serious. Can't even utilize your food stamp. What you gonna buy?
Mhm.
You can't buy nothing, right? You know what
That's
to do.
what I'm saying.
You'll do anything.
Yeah, you know, so that's the part I loved about it. I could be a human again. I mean, I was never an animal, never looked at myself like vicious,
Yeah,
but
but you feel better.
you know, I mean, you can't be no weakling out here. You can't be no weakling. Never
Yeah.
that out here.
No, he's 100% right. You got outside, when you're outside, you got to make sure that you have importance of your safety, your
Yeah.
well-being. You have to be on your P's and your Q's because it's not just random people. You have people that work and have jobs that try to do things to you. And you
Yeah.
have certain things that also go on that's outside of the normal within itself, and you'd be very surprised. I mean, it's like, okay, just because you're homeless, that doesn't give everybody a right to attack you, say certain things at you, or do bad things to you. And that's happened several times to a lot of people. There's a lot of good people in this world and throughout Washington, D.C. They give you donations, they feed you. There's a lot of people that encourage you and do good things. But you have to be very careful when you're outside because there's a lot of individuals that become preyed upon if they find themselves vulnerable or by themselves, or if you have a disability and you're unable to defend yourself, you have to be very careful because a lot of people prey on the homeless also.
Yeah.
And they do bad things to them and they try to put them in bad, compromising positions. Oh, give me your Medicaid card information. I need your Social Security card information. Then they run game and they steal your information, or they steal your check, or steal your money, or they bring other people to hurt you, cut your tent up, put your tent on fire, or they threaten you. So you go through a lot. There's a lot of things that you go through. And by the time you figure it out, you know, you have to be very careful. You have to pick and choose what area you at, who you around, what you doing.
Because they're not gonna leave you alone.
No, they don't leave you alone.
They're not gonna give you your privacy. They're not gonna leave you alone.
Yeah.
They're gonna be in your armpit heads.
Yeah, and it's sometimes the way it's in. Sometimes if they see you congregating with other individuals, they think you're doing something wrong, and you're not. You're just standing there talking about what's going on in your life within itself. And they looking at you. Well, you ain't got nowhere to go. You got to move from here. Then you move somewhere else. Another person comes by. They tell you, no, you can't stay here neither. Then the time you turn around, where can you go?
And keep
What can you
nothing.
do?
Steal
Losing
everything.
your item every time.
They steal everything.
They take everything from you.
Steal
The minute
everything.
you go, when you go in the program, while you come in to take your shower and change, they didn't clean out your tent or cut it up or put it on fire. Then you get back, you upset, you mad, you don't have a tent, you ain't got nowhere to live. Then you look back again and say, "Oh man, I came here to do this," and boom, this
You
happened.
can't keep nothing outside.
They said, "No, it's not safe. It's not safe at all, especially at night. It gets worse."
Especially when it get hot.
Oh, when it get hot, it's worse.
Down here, man.
We got different.
Watch when it get hot down this here.
Sometimes we have a lot of the youth that attack the homeless. Sometimes.
Yeah, man, this is just.
They become very, very volatile and very upset, and they treat homeless people like they're not people, and then that's one problem. Then you have to be careful because you have certain officers that once they keep seeing you too many times in front of too many stores or walking up and down, they also try to harass you also, not all of them, just some.
Yeah. You know what I did? I'm masked and not looking like I was homeless.
Yeah, that's the close order.
Hey, looking squeaky clean.
Yeah, you looking clean, little car.
I'm serious, you gotta act the part.
Yeah, you can't
Yeah,
carry
that
it
part.
with you and don't have a lot of clothes too much.
No.
Yeah, but then you gotta be careful what you wear and
Yeah.
what it is, you know.
Oh, that.
If the youth see your shoes or your
Yeah,
clothes that you got that was donated and they want to rob you for it, then you gotta be careful. Now if you got on something that looks like something's worth something, then you gotta fight for your life for it.
Yeah.
And then you turn back around, you're like, hold on, I just got that was donated. They
Yeah,
want
like
to kill
that.
me over it,
Yeah.
what I got now. I mean, what is this?
Mhm.
It bothers you a little. And then if you do dress a certain way, what they'll do is they'll pinpoint you and start following you. And then that becomes a problem too, because everywhere you go, they follow them.
Everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, anywhere. You get on a bus, the train, you see 4 or 5 of them, the same
They
4 or
wanna
5.
know what you know.
Well, they want to follow you where you're going, what you're doing. Because they think you're doing something else, you're not doing nothing.
Mhm.
Thank you all so much for sharing those stories. That's
You're
really-
welcome, man. Thank you for having that.
You're welcome very much.
So I do have another question, maybe one more. So when you're in your bridge housing, you're sharing space with 40 or 50 people. Which spaces do you have that are your own where you can lock the door, and what spaces in the house do you share with other people, and what's that like?
What you mean?
So the two.
Oh, when you're in the place,
Like, are you sharing a
Yeah.
kitchen?
it's
and a
just
common-
it's the bathroom and the kitchen. That's the
Yeah, so for clarifying question, for probably didn't join us last week, the 2 existing bridge housing programs are apartment style. So you'll have 2 to 3 or 1 to 2 roommates, and you're sharing common spaces that are kitchen and bathroom. And then there are some general common spaces that are for all 50 or so residents of the facility. But for the most part, you have just a few people sharing your main primary areas of kitchen, bathroom, etc. And then they all have their own bedrooms.
Yeah, I mean, I had a combination lock to my door. To get in the apartment had 1 combination lock. I had to remember 2 lock numbers. So 1 to get in the door and 1 in my apartment. And it was brand new too. I mean, I wasn't mad at all.
Mhm,
It was just a blessing, man.
mhm.
You know, I take a shower when I want to and get out of there in 15 minutes, you know. I'm serious. I was serious. I can remember them days, boy.
Mhm.
But
And
yeah,
pretty much everybody got along, and it was a good experience.
but I mean, it's a learning experience. But see, everybody ain't your roommate. Yeah, you gotta pair them up right.
Hmm.
You gotta pair them up.
I mean, very careful.
At least as close as possible, because you can't mix them together, please. No. That's gonna cause a problem in itself.
Yeah, you have to check the psychological profile
Yes,
of the
ma'am.
individual first, then look at their record, see what they used to.
Yeah, not the drug of choice is all of that.
Not only just that, you gotta see the intelligence also, because
Yeah,
you
that
got them
part.
with that, oh, man.
Is he taking on 4 cylinders?
Yeah.
We didn't get along together, we had a lot of issues.
He got gas in his tank. I mean, for real.
Cause you got some individuals you can be housed with, and then they steal your stuff, wanna fight with you, get your door out of the program.
5 minutes
And
late.
then they try to create an atmosphere to make it uncomfortable for you to leave, because they in a bad situation and they don't plan that.
This is what I would prefer you guys to do. Give them a fair warning. Mess up once, you have to do it. No questions asked.
They know
No
they get,
questions asked. For serious.
yeah, but if they know they getting thrown out of the program, they don't have no problem with stealing your stuff or fighting you or getting you in trouble.
Serious.
Calling the police on
So you gotta have, if you take it, you got no BS. And loud. Man,
Then they stay up all night, they keep the TV on,
Yeah.
water, then they mess up your room, then on top of that, they do all types of
don't
things.
do the dishes. Tell them to clean up after they sell. Them I had that problem with my.
Alright?
Yeah, see, they know what I've been through with mine.
Gotta be very careful.
Everybody in your hand on training.
Yeah.
Yeah, living with
Oh.
other people can be challenging,
Yes.
Yeah.
even if they're people that you
Like,
choose.
guys, yeah, she knows
That's
what it is.
Yeah, sounds like roommates I've had, Nancy said, so.
Stay back a little bit.
And I just have one more question, which is there anything you would suggest in terms of what you would improve or about bridge housing?
I will improve the time getting you off the streets.
Mhm.
That's the only improvement.
Like make it happen faster.
Everything.
Yeah, get people off the streets.
Cause
faster.
I was, they know I almost ain't made it.
Most people, once they come off the streets with them.
Attitude to max.
They find themselves getting back to their normal way of life before they became homeless, when they had.
Yeah, that boy.
Before their disability bothered them.
Smile again.
They become productive and positive about themselves and what they do in society and communities. So that's very important part, because once that one thing is removed, then they can build on other things that's gonna help them.
Yeah.
And they'll follow in suit within themselves to get back to where they was as a person or individual. So that was very important.
Ricardo, do you have anything you want to add?
No, not really.
Yeah, I do, I see Babatunde shared a little, and I'm not sure if you wanted to come off mute. Babatunde is one of GMC's board of directors and has had lived experience, and so may want to share some, and is now stably housed and can maybe share a little bit about his experience as well.
I'm gonna hit it.
Yes.
What's up, big guy?
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
It's wonderful to hear these stories of hope and resiliency in some of the individuals that I interacted with when I was in DC in that particular state of mind. And really the reasoning behind my issues and my problems was really around service and being able to get connected to the right service. I was fortunate enough to use GMC as a stepping stone to where I am now. And they assisted me with things like getting my licensure in place, my credentials back so I can begin work again. So that was the main crux of how I was able to navigate the system, being able to go back to work and address some underlying issues that I was struggling with at the time. So I'm certainly very fortunate. And also I can celebrate with you young men about the benefits of GMC and the proactiveness of the programs they offer, the gifts in terms of gift cards, clothing, necessary gear for the winter time. Because I was one that was outside in the elements. I got a sleeping bag and I was out there. And it took me a while to get a job so I can get back to gainful employment again. And really the background that I see in these young men is that they're very successfully housed and working towards a full reintegration back into community by looking for work or looking for other means of support. So I think I can attest to the quality of services at GMC, and I can attest to the feedback and the proactiveness of the staff in making sure that every guest gets a good experience. So that was something that I was very fortunate to experience myself. The professionalism of the staff and the work they were doing day in and day out to advocate for us for more options for the guests and things of that nature. The food was also very good with different volunteers who come in and even I was fortunate to have a conversation with a few college students who were volunteering during the course of their time at Georgetown University, especially. And I got a perspective about why they were volunteering and some of the giving back process they were going through themselves. So I think, the stories that I've been hearing all night really speaks to resiliency and the fact that even through that process of being homeless, there's a way to kind of keep the fire burning and to be motivated to want to get into permanent housing. And the staff really works with the motivation to make sure that they get connected. I mean, the system is broken. We have to be honest with that. It's not the most, user-friendly system. And the fact that, individuals are still stuck in a complex myriad of homelessness, it speaks to the complications that the system, is working with right now. And I think if more funding can be offered and more opportunities for opening up selective housing units within each apartment complex, that can be rectified over time. But I think more needs to be done from a governmental perspective, and also private agencies can donate, funds to be able to backdrop these programs, and make sure they're sustainable as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's good to see you.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Babatunde.
Very well said. And what a tremendous panel. Can we just thank our panelists, and you can come off mute if you want.
Thumbs in the air.
Thank you.
Yes, we have learned so much from you, and we appreciate you answering all of our questions and helping us to understand what this experience has been like for you. And we celebrate with you the steps forward you're making in your lives, and give thanks for for all the support you've gotten through GMC, and hope that we can continue to walk alongside you as you keep moving forward. I'd like to close us with a prayer as we end tonight, and so would you just pray with me? God, we give you thanks for the work of GMC, and we thank you especially tonight for Ricardo and Patrick and Derek and Babatunde, for the ways in which they have been able to take the resources that are offered and to move forward with their lives, to find stability, to find hope, to hold on to a hope for a better future for themselves. We recognize and see their sacred worth. We know that they are our brothers in Christ, and so we thank you for them. Thank you for their honest sharing tonight, for the time that they took out of their lives to come and teach us tonight. And I thank you for everyone who made time to be here too, to listen and to receive the gift of these folks' stories. Help us, God, in our continued discernment and our continued ministry with Georgetown Ministry Center, for all that they are doing to meet people where they are. Thank you for Kelly and for Rebecca and for all that they do. And keep us safe this night. Give us all rest and peace, that we may wake up tomorrow and continue to serve you. In Christ's name we pray. Amen. Thank you all.